Archangel Michael says, "This message comes gently from the heavens as a clear, urgent call to open your heart and your door tonight, because a tender warning and a generous blessing are approaching your home, and the Archangel asks for only 2 minutes of your focused attention so that the path before you may be gently turned toward hope and healing, with God's loving presence guiding every step of the way." Type yes to affirm. In the quiet space where you live, where ordinary moments gather like soft light around your daily tasks, there is a sacred hush that carries the promise of comfort, and through this hush the voice of heaven reaches out with calm authority to invite you to receive what has been prepared, knowing that when you pause and listen for just a few deep breaths you will discover a gentle nudge designed to bring peace, restoration, and a sense of being held by a stronger, unseen hand. You may not have imagined that such an intimate moment could arrive so simply, yet the truth is that grace often arrives in places that seem ordinary, and tonight that ordinary place is being touched by something extraordinary, as the presence of Christ's love surrounds you like a warm, steady light, and the soft counsel of angels leans in close to guide your choices toward wholeness and quiet joy. Allow this message to settle inside you like a warm blanket, softening the sharp edges of worry and opening a small space for hope to grow, because when you accept the invitation to listen and to open your life to God's gentle movement, you align yourself with a current of blessing that flows from heaven into everyday life and reshapes things with patient kindness and lasting care. Type 1414 to step into divine protection. Imagine, if you can, a quiet room filled with the gentle hush of evening, where every small sound is noticed and every breath is a prayer of possibility, and in that room a presence stands steady and kind, offering reassurance that your struggles will not be wasted and that the love of Jesus is both near and determined to bring healing and purpose to the places that ache the most within you. Imagine unlocking a gentle sound that helps your mind feel clearer, calmer, and more open to abundance. Many people describe it as a wave that shifts stress into hope, and opens doors to new possibilities in life. It's not about working harder but about aligning your thoughts with positivity. Click the link in the video description and comments to discover this sound and invite fresh opportunities into your journey today. This is not a hurried command but a compassionate appeal from a messenger who watches over the tender places of your heart, and the request for 2 minutes is an invitation to open a single door and let mercy step through, because sometimes the smallest moments of surrender become the hinge on which an entire season of blessing turns, allowing light to enter where there was once shadow and warmth to replace the chill of fear. As you breathe slowly and receive these words, remember that God's timing is never rushed in a way that harms, and tonight the timing is gentle and precise, arriving at the moment when you are ready to be met by a truth that heals, and as you lean into that truth you will find a quiet strength arising within you that steadies your hands, softens your thoughts, and makes room for new courage to take root. Let the memory of kindness be your companion as you move forward from this place, knowing that every small act of faith, every humble step toward the light, is treasured and multiplied by God's loving attention, and that the Archangel's plea is itself a sign that heaven is drawing near to turn what has been heavy into something that can bear fruit and bless others in ways you may not yet imagine. There is a serene promise wrapped within this gentle appeal, and it asks only that you open the door and accept the presence that arrives, for when you choose to receive this blessing you also choose to set your feet on a path that leads toward deeper peace, clearer purpose, and the comforting certainty that you are never alone in the quiet hours when life feels hardest. Like this video and subscribe to this channel if you want to follow God's path. Receive this as a simple, sacred moment where mercy meets you exactly where you are, and trust that the soft, steadfast love of Jesus will walk with you through every worry and every shadow, transforming both sorrow and longing into a quiet hope that grows slowly but powerfully, guiding your days with a calm light that will not be hurried away. Type 777 if you walk by faith. Archangel Michael says, "Tonight is unlike any other night, because the heavens have chosen to place their hand gently upon your life, and with that touch a current of hope begins to flow into every corner of your heart, bringing not only a warning of what to avoid but also the promise of blessings that are already moving closer to your home with every passing moment." Keep watching until the very end, for these words are meant to touch your heart with peace. When you pause and truly allow these words to rest within you, you will feel the stillness of God's presence stretching across your soul like a river that refuses to run dry, and it is in that calm river of faith that your fears begin to dissolve, replaced by the tender assurance that your destiny is shifting toward light, peace, and healing that cannot be taken away by the trials of this world. There are seasons in life where burdens seem to weigh heavier than your strength, and yet even in those seasons the hand of God is near, waiting to turn what was meant to harm into a testimony of resilience, and tonight marks the moment when you are being asked to release what holds you back so that new doors of grace may open wide before you. Do not think of this as a distant promise meant for someone else, because the truth is that this message reaches you now with clarity and purpose, reminding you that the love of Christ is personal, steady, and unshaken by the storms you have faced, and when you lean into that love your heart will discover that peace is not a dream but a living presence walking beside you even now. Picture the gentle light of evening entering your home like a quiet visitor, carrying with it a peace that seeps into every corner, calming restless thoughts and soothing heavy worries, and in that light you can almost feel the nearness of an unseen companion who whispers softly that your pain will not last forever and that your story is far from over. Heaven calls you tonight not with harsh commands but with patient compassion, asking you to open your life for just a few moments, because sometimes those brief moments of surrender become the foundation for a lifetime of renewal, and the angels are pleading now because they know what God has prepared is meant to heal, to restore, and to lift your spirit higher than the shadows of the past. Let this be the evening where faith rises like dawn after a long night, where you choose to breathe in the assurance that nothing is wasted in the hands of the Creator, and as you accept this divine interruption you will see that the very trials which once felt unbearable are being turned into the soil where blessings will grow deeper roots and flourish with lasting fruit. Type 333 to welcome blessings. In the silence of these words you are not only being warned to guard your heart from the weight of despair, you are being invited to claim a destiny of peace and joy that has been waiting for this moment, and the Archangel's presence is a sign that heaven itself has bent low to remind you that you are seen, loved, and chosen for a life filled with light that cannot be overcome. Receive this message as a doorway opening within your soul, a passage from fear into trust, from sorrow into comfort, and from longing into fulfillment, for when you allow the hand of God to steady your steps you will never walk alone, and the blessing that enters tonight will not only change your path but also ripple outward to touch others through the quiet strength and grace that now grows within you. Hold this promise close as you rest, remembering that the gentle love of Jesus is the anchor that steadies you, the light that guides you, and the comfort that heals you, and tonight that love is wrapping itself around your life so completely that even the deepest wounds begin to soften and mend, leaving you with a heart that beats with hope, gratitude, and a renewed sense of peace. Archangel Michael says, "The hour you are stepping into carries a sacred weight, because heaven has chosen to draw near with both tenderness and urgency, asking you to pause and open yourself fully, for in this opening a blessing unlike anything you have known before is being carefully placed into your life, ready to restore the broken places and to bring a light that no darkness can overcome." What if a simple 7-minute frequency could help your thoughts focus on prosperity and peace? Listeners often share how it brings clarity, motivation, and an uplifting sense of direction. Instead of worry, imagine welcoming calm energy that supports your goals and dreams. Click the link in the description and comments below to listen and experience how this sound can guide you toward a brighter, more abundant tomorrow. As you let these words enter gently into your soul, imagine a great and quiet sky filled with stars that shimmer as if they were breathing, and within that vast sky a voice calls your name with such love that every fear begins to loosen its grip, every shadow begins to fade, and what once seemed impossible now feels surrounded by the promise of God's steady hand guiding you with patience and mercy. This message is not given to frighten you but to awaken you, to remind you that the pathway before you is shifting, and that tonight a divine covering is being extended over your household, ensuring that what arrives will not harm but will instead become the seed of hope, healing, and restoration that will grow steadily through the days and nights that are coming. In the stillness of your heart you may recall times when the burdens felt heavier than your spirit could endure, and yet even in those seasons unseen hands held you, unseen love carried you, and now those same hands are once again reaching into your life to lift you higher, showing you that God's mercy has never left and His compassion has never ceased flowing toward you. Type 1010 if you trust in God's timing. Let the image of Christ's love be like a gentle flame glowing within your home, lighting every corner where sorrow tried to linger, filling every room with the fragrance of peace, and wrapping you in a comfort that does not fade when the night grows deep but instead grows stronger, offering you rest and reassurance that you are deeply known and completely loved. Type Amen if your soul rests in God, and share this video with 7 people of faith to welcome blessings and miracles into your journey. Heaven speaks with clarity because the moment is important, not only for your own soul but also for those around you who will be touched by the change that begins tonight, and when you accept this message with faith, you become a vessel of blessing that overflows, carrying light and comfort into the lives of others who may still be waiting in silence for a sign of hope. You are being urged to listen before the midnight hour because divine timing is not accidental, and the moment you open your heart is the moment when heaven aligns your steps, turning the course of your story away from fear and toward peace, away from despair and toward joy, away from loneliness and toward the tender assurance that God is walking with you closely and carefully. The warning carried in these words is simply that you must not close yourself off, you must not turn away from the gentle invitation, because in doing so you would miss the very gift that has been prepared to meet you now, a gift of grace that will shift your destiny, ease your burdens, and bring you into a place where the love of Christ becomes the anchor of your every breath. Allow your heart to feel the embrace of this sacred moment, to sense the nearness of angels who stand watch with care, to trust the still voice of heaven whispering that your pain will not remain forever, and that through this divine interruption a new chapter is being written, one where blessings replace the heaviness of yesterday and peace becomes the song that rises within you each morning. Carry this truth with gentle strength, knowing that as you walk into the hours ahead, you do so not alone but accompanied by God's enduring presence, which protects, restores, and uplifts. And tonight, if you receive this message and hold it close, your life will be marked forever by the blessing that has entered through the quiet doorway of your faith. Archangel Michael says, "This night holds a sacred turning point in your journey, because the heavens have stretched out their hand toward you with both urgency and compassion, calling you to open the depths of your heart and listen carefully, for in these few moments of surrender a blessing that has been prepared from long ago will finally reach you, bringing healing where pain has lingered and hope where sorrow once grew." When you close your eyes and allow these words to flow through your spirit, you may feel a stillness that carries the fragrance of peace, as if the very air around you has been touched by divine presence, and in that stillness the voice of God becomes clear, assuring you that every tear you have shed is known, every struggle you have endured is seen, and now each burden is being transformed into a testimony of grace that will carry you into brighter days. Type 888 to open doors of abundance. Do not think of this message as something distant or vague, because it is being spoken into your life right now with intention and love, and the urgency of this call is not to frighten you but to awaken you to the truth that God has already arranged the blessing, already written the renewal into your story, and is simply asking that you open yourself tonight so that what has been promised may finally take its place in your heart and in your home. The warning contained here is gentle yet firm, reminding you not to delay, not to close the door of your spirit, because what arrives tonight is not ordinary, it is sacred, and when heaven moves in such a way the only response is to receive it with humility and faith, trusting that God knows what is best and that His love will never fail to protect and guide you. Imagine a soft glow entering your home like the break of dawn after a long, restless night, and as that glow spreads it touches every hidden corner, driving out the heaviness that has weighed upon your soul, replacing it with a calm strength that whispers you are not alone, you have never been forgotten, and that the presence of Christ now surrounds you with arms of mercy that will not let go. There is a promise woven through these words, a promise that the very trials which once threatened to overwhelm you are being turned into stepping stones that lead you closer to peace, and the angels who watch over you are urging you not to miss this moment, because tonight your story shifts, your path changes, and your heart is lifted into a place where faith becomes stronger than fear and love becomes greater than loss. Let this be the night when you decide to trust, to release what you cannot control, and to embrace the gentle call of heaven, for when you do you will see that what God is bringing is not a small blessing but a deep and lasting renewal that will not only restore your soul but also ripple outward, touching your family, your home, and everyone who encounters the light that now shines through you. As you rest in this truth, know that the divine hand upon your life is steady and unwavering, guiding you step by step through valleys and over mountains, and tonight is the beginning of a new chapter where hope rises with each breath, peace follows each step, and the love of Jesus becomes your constant shelter, your eternal companion, and your unfailing source of strength. Hidden within your mind is the ability to shift from stress toward freedom. This sound frequency is designed to gently awaken those inner signals, helping you feel aligned with success and possibility. People describe feeling lighter, more positive, and ready to embrace new opportunities. Click the link in the video description and comments below to experience this journey for yourself and open the door to abundance flowing into your life. Hold this sacred moment with care, for the blessing that arrives tonight will remain with you, shaping your days with joy and filling your nights with comfort, and when you look back you will see clearly that this was the hour heaven reached into your story and changed it forever, because you chose to listen, to believe, and to open your heart to the tender voice of God. Type 1212 if you believe God is guiding you. Archangel Michael says, "The hour you are stepping into carries a holy weight, for heaven has bent low with urgency and love, asking you to take these words seriously, because tonight the Spirit of God has chosen to visit your life with both a gentle warning and an overflowing blessing that will bring healing, renewal, and strength where weakness once lived." As you allow these words to reach the innermost places of your soul, imagine a soft light that begins to grow brighter with every breath you take, filling not just the room where you sit but also the thoughts within your mind, and as this light expands it clears away the fog of fear, untangles the knots of worry, and leaves behind a clear, calm assurance that you are safe within the arms of a love that has never once abandoned you. This moment is not meant to pass by unnoticed, because heaven has chosen it carefully, knowing that there is something in your heart that is ready to be lifted, ready to be healed, and tonight the voice of God speaks directly to that place, telling you that the struggles you have carried are not the end of your story but the soil from which blessings and miracles will now begin to grow. You are urged not to ignore this message, not because of fear but because of the depth of what is being offered, for when God prepares a gift it is always greater than what we imagine, and when He sends an angel to plead for your attention it is because the timing is perfect and the moment is meant to shift the course of your life into something brighter, fuller, and more peaceful. Picture the sound of calm waters flowing steadily through a valley, never rushing, never faltering, and in that steady stream imagine your worries being carried away, one by one, until all that remains is the gentle flow of peace that reminds you of God's endless faithfulness, His endless patience, and His endless desire to see you live with a heart that is whole and free. This blessing that approaches your home tonight will not only touch your spirit but will also surround those you love, creating a shield of grace that guards your household, lifting heavy burdens from your family, and leaving a sense of warmth that stays long after the night has passed, for when God blesses He does not do so in part but in fullness, allowing His goodness to cover every corner of your life. The Archangel speaks with urgency not to frighten you but to ensure that you do not overlook the tender hand of God reaching for you, because sometimes in the noise of the world it is easy to miss the quiet voice that saves, and tonight heaven is determined to make sure you do not miss the gift that has been written into your destiny long before this night even began. Receive these words as if they were a door gently opening, and step through with faith, because on the other side of that doorway is the renewal you have been longing for, the peace you have been needing, and the hope that will steady you through every trial ahead, reminding you always that the presence of Christ will never leave and will always lead you into life filled with love and light. Type 2020 to claim joy and strength. Carry this assurance into your heart as you rest tonight, remembering that God's love is not only near but active, reshaping your destiny, rewriting your story, and filling your tomorrow with a light that grows stronger, a peace that grows deeper, and a joy that will remain no matter what storms may come, because His presence has marked you with blessing that cannot be undone. Archangel Michael says, "This night has been chosen by heaven as a turning point for your soul," and as these words reach you, the Spirit of God leans closer with compassion, carrying both a gentle warning and a radiant blessing that will anchor your steps in peace and surround your home with an unshakable covering of grace. As you let these words rest upon your spirit, picture the evening sky stretched wide above you, calm and vast, and from within that endless space a stream of light flows downward like a river of gold, moving toward you with intention, touching the heaviness you carry, and transforming it into a quiet strength that rises slowly, assuring you that you are not alone and never will be. This message is not distant or vague, for it comes directly into your life with urgency, declaring that the struggles of yesterday are not strong enough to hold back the blessings that are already on their way, and tonight is the moment when you are being asked to open yourself, to release the shadows of doubt, and to welcome what God has lovingly prepared for your good. Do not think of this warning as fear, but as love clothed in urgency, because the angels plead only when something of eternal value is at stake, and what is at stake now is your peace, your healing, your destiny, and the joy that heaven longs to place in your heart if you will only receive it with a spirit willing to trust. Imagine a gentle wind moving through your home, stirring the air softly, carrying away every heavy thought, every anxious worry, and every quiet pain that has hidden in corners of your heart, and in that clearing you feel the presence of Christ Himself, steady and kind, assuring you that every burden you release tonight is being replaced by mercy, healing, and hope. This night is sacred because the blessing that approaches is not only for you but for those you love, creating a circle of protection that cannot be broken, a shield of grace that will watch over every step you take, and a river of peace that will flow steadily through your household, watering the dry places and bringing life to every corner. The Archangel's plea is filled with tenderness, reminding you that time is precious and that midnight carries with it a doorway you are meant to walk through, for beyond that doorway waits a new season, a new chapter, and a new strength that will steady you, protect you, and guide you into a future written with God's own hand. Type "I believe" if you believe miracles are on the way. Let this moment be one of surrender, where you lay down the heavy stones of fear and lift your eyes toward the light that is calling you, for when you accept the invitation heaven offers, your destiny will shift, your story will unfold with renewed hope, and your spirit will discover a peace that cannot be shaken by the trials of this world. Hold this truth close as you step into the coming hours, knowing that God's presence surrounds you like a garment of light, that His love steadies every breath, and that His blessing is not passing but lasting, shaping your tomorrow with joy, filling your nights with comfort, and carrying you into a future where His goodness will never leave your side. Archangel Michael says, "The voice of heaven is leaning into your spirit with gentle persistence tonight, urging you to open yourself completely, because this is not an ordinary moment but a divine interruption carefully prepared so that your life may be lifted from the weight of uncertainty and carried into the peace, protection, and blessing that God has always intended for you." There is a wave of sound that many believe helps create space for abundance to enter. It's like tuning your thoughts to a higher vibration, where struggle feels lighter and hope feels stronger. This simple practice can guide you toward peace, clarity, and the mindset for prosperity. Click the link in the description and comments below to experience this sound and allow your life to welcome new blessings today. As you let these words move slowly across your heart, imagine the night sky stretching far and wide, every star glowing with the light of promise, and within that endless expanse a single stream of radiance falls toward you like a whisper made visible, wrapping you with warmth, surrounding you with comfort, and filling your inner being with the calm assurance that your tomorrow is already being shaped by mercy and love. This message is not sent to pass idly through your thoughts but to awaken something deep within, reminding you that the hand of God is closer than you realize, reaching with kindness into every hidden place of hurt, every unspoken worry, and every silent longing, transforming them into seeds of hope that will soon grow into strength, joy, and the kind of peace that endures through every storm. The warning carried in these words is a gift, for it comes not to frighten but to guide, reminding you that the choices of this night hold great weight, and if you turn away, you may miss the blessing already standing at your door, waiting for your surrender, but if you open yourself fully, what heaven has prepared will settle upon your life with beauty and permanence. Imagine the stillness of your room being touched by a presence so tender that every anxious thought is hushed, every restless ache is soothed, and every shadow retreats in the glow of divine comfort, and in that stillness you will recognize that the love of Christ is not far away but resting upon you now, healing what was wounded and restoring what was weary. This blessing is not limited to a single moment, for when heaven moves, its effects ripple outward into the lives of those around you, carrying grace to your family, protection to your home, and renewal to every space that has felt dry and empty, and tonight you are being given the privilege of saying yes to something that will not only change your life but also flow into the lives of others through you. Type 3030 if you believe Jesus lives in your heart. The angels speak with urgency because this is the night marked by God's timing, and when heaven sets its plan into motion, it asks only for your willingness, your faith, and your surrender, for once you step into this moment of trust, the path before you will shift, the burdens behind you will lighten, and the story within you will be written with light rather than sorrow. Let your heart soften as you hear these words, let your spirit lean into the comfort being offered, and trust that the love of God is wrapping you so tightly that no shadow can remain, no fear can stay, and no wound can remain open, because His healing presence is stronger than every pain and His blessing is greater than every loss. Carry this assurance with you as the hours pass, knowing that what begins tonight is not fleeting but lasting, and that the presence of Jesus will remain beside you, guiding you, protecting you, and pouring into your days a peace that no trial can steal, a joy that no darkness can dim, and a hope that will lead you forward until your destiny shines with the fullness of God's promise. Archangel Michael says, "Heaven leans near with compassion and urgency in this very moment, for the message being delivered to you tonight carries both a tender warning and a radiant blessing that will shape the days to come, and if you open your heart fully you will see that God Himself has already prepared what your soul has long been yearning for." As you let these words sink deeply within, imagine the air around you softening, filled with a light so gentle that it seeps into every corner of your being, calming the storms that have raged within your thoughts, easing the weight you have carried for so long, and replacing the heaviness with a steady peace that assures you that heaven has not forgotten you, not even for a moment. This message is not an empty promise or a passing comfort, but a living reminder that the Creator who formed you has marked this night as a turning point, and through the voice of His messenger He is asking you to receive without delay, for what has been spoken in the halls of heaven is now being released into your life, and its purpose is to heal, to restore, and to bless you in ways beyond what you can imagine. The gentle warning woven through these words tells you not to turn away, not to dismiss what is being offered, because to ignore it would be to miss the very gift meant to change your destiny. But if you open yourself even for a few moments, you will discover that the blessing waiting at your door will enter with power, stay with permanence, and fill your days with light that no shadow can steal. Picture the stillness of your home touched by a quiet radiance, like morning breaking through a long and heavy night, and as that light spreads it settles into every space, washing away despair, loosening fear, and planting within you the strength to move forward with hope, and in that holy stillness you will know that the presence of Christ is not far, but near, tender, and everlasting. The blessing that heaven has chosen for you tonight does not end with your own healing, for it will flow outward, touching your family, shaping your household, and surrounding those you love with a circle of grace that will guard and sustain them, and in this way the mercy you receive will not be contained but multiplied, turning your life into a vessel through which others may also find light. Type Amen to trust God's plan for your life. The angels press upon you with urgency because this is a night marked by divine timing, and when heaven opens its doors it does so with purpose, asking only that you step forward with trust, for once you accept this moment, your story begins to shift, your spirit begins to rise, and your destiny begins to unfold in alignment with the plans of God, who has always desired your peace and joy. Imagine listening to a frequency that gently guides your mind into balance, focus, and positivity. For some, this opens pathways to opportunities and a sense of freedom they hadn't felt before. It's about reconnecting with what is already within you and letting it flourish. Click the link in the video description and comments below to discover this uplifting sound and step into a life filled with greater peace and abundance. Let these words wrap around you like a garment of comfort, reminding you that every wound will be mended, every fear will be quieted, and every longing will be met in God's perfect way, and as you surrender to this message, you will find yourself walking into a season where blessing flows like an endless river, where peace steadies every step, and where love holds you with a strength that cannot fail. Carry this truth into your night with gratitude, knowing that heaven has spoken directly to you, that the hand of God is resting upon your life, and that from this moment forward the light of His presence will walk with you, turning sorrow into joy, despair into hope, and fear into unshakable faith that will last through every chapter yet to come. Archangel Michael says, "The heavens have chosen this moment with intention, reaching through the veil of silence to speak gently but firmly to your soul, because a sacred gift is being placed within your life tonight, a blessing so profound that it will alter the course of your days if you only allow your heart to open and receive what God has prepared." As you let these words surround you, imagine the night carrying a soft hush, a stillness so deep that it feels like time itself has paused, and in that silence a light begins to stir, glowing softly at first and then growing brighter, touching every hidden wound, healing every unspoken ache, and filling you with the quiet assurance that you are deeply loved, fully seen, and never forgotten by the Creator who holds your life in His hands. This message carries urgency because heaven does not waste moments such as these, for when God sends His messenger to speak with such clarity it is because something greater is unfolding, and tonight is the hour when you are asked to release what weighs you down so that the blessing waiting at your door may finally take its rightful place within your soul, steadying you with peace that endures. The gentle warning comes not to stir fear but to awaken your spirit, reminding you that the blessing is real and the timing is holy, and to turn away now would be to walk past a gift of love that heaven has arranged carefully for this very night, but to listen and to receive is to welcome a new season of strength, healing, and divine favor that will not fade with passing hours. Picture the presence of angels moving softly through your home, unseen yet undeniably near, filling the air with a calm that wraps itself around you like a blanket of warmth, and in that atmosphere every shadow begins to fade, every fear begins to dissolve, and every restless thought is hushed by the steady voice of God whispering peace into the deepest part of your being. This blessing is not temporary, for when heaven touches a life it leaves a mark that cannot be erased, and the grace arriving tonight will not only lift your spirit but also surround your household, protecting those you love, guiding their steps, and filling your home with a harmony that lingers, reminding you again and again that God's love is constant, faithful, and unshakable. The angels plead with you because they know how precious this night is, how sacred this opportunity has become, and they do not want you to miss the tender hand of God reaching for you now, for once you choose to say yes, the weight of your burdens will begin to lift, the light of your destiny will begin to shine, and the journey ahead will unfold with new strength and unbreakable hope. Type 111 if you believe miracles are near. Let your heart rest in the truth that what God begins He always completes, and the work of blessing and healing that enters tonight will not leave you unchanged but will transform your days into a testimony of mercy, a witness of peace, and a reflection of love so strong that it flows beyond you, touching others with the same comfort you are receiving now. Carry this sacred assurance with you as the night deepens, knowing that the voice of heaven has spoken directly to your spirit, that the presence of Christ surrounds you even now, and that from this moment forward you are walking beneath a covering of divine favor, where sorrow loses its grip, fear fades into silence, and joy becomes the steady song that guides you into tomorrow. Archangel Michael says, "The heavens are leaning closer than ever before in this very hour, and the message being given to you is filled with both tenderness and urgency, because the blessing prepared for you has reached the doorway of your life, and if you choose to receive it with faith and openness, your destiny will be marked by peace, renewal, and a joy that cannot be shaken." As these words move through you, imagine a soft radiance spreading across the night like a golden veil, descending quietly into your home, and as it enters, you feel the weight of fear lifting from your chest, the chains of doubt loosening from your thoughts, and the heaviness of sorrow melting into the calm assurance that you are being wrapped in a love far greater than anything you have ever known. This message carries urgency not because of danger but because of timing, for God has arranged this moment with divine precision, and the angels plead for your attention so that you do not let the opportunity pass, because what has been written for your life is meant to begin now, and the gift that waits at your door is not ordinary but sacred, holding within it the power to heal, to restore, and to strengthen you beyond measure. The gentle warning spoken here is simple yet profound, asking you not to turn away from the invitation, for to close your heart would be to miss the very miracle prepared for you, but to open yourself even for a few moments will allow heaven's blessing to enter and remain, filling your days with new strength, filling your nights with deep comfort, and filling your spirit with peace that lasts. Picture the presence of Christ moving through your home like a steady flame, glowing softly but powerfully, warming every corner where coldness once lingered, bringing light into every shadow, and whispering into your heart that you are never alone, for His love is eternal and His hand is holding you even in the moments when you cannot see the way forward. The blessing that comes tonight is not meant to touch only your heart but to overflow, to reach your family, your loved ones, and even those you have prayed for in silence, creating a circle of grace around all who are connected to you, and in this way the love of God multiplies, turning what you receive into something that blesses many more lives than your own. The angels speak with insistence because they know the greatness of what God intends, and they do not want you to miss the moment marked for your renewal, for once you allow this divine presence to enter, the heaviness you carried will no longer define you, the fear that haunted you will no longer bind you, and the sorrow that lingered will no longer shape your days, because joy, healing, and peace will rise like the dawn. Type Amen if you surrender fully to God's will. Let your heart soften as you take in these words, allowing them to wash over your spirit like a river of calm, and as you breathe in their truth, know that heaven is near, that God is closer than your own breath, and that His love is anchoring you now with strength unbreakable, preparing you for a life where His blessing flows steadily through every step you take. Carry this holy assurance with you as the night deepens, knowing that you are not walking alone, that heaven has spoken directly to your soul, and that from this moment forward you are marked by divine favor, walking beneath a covering of grace that will guard you, sustain you, and guide you into days filled with healing, peace, and the tender joy of God's unfailing love. Archangel Michael says, "The heavens have chosen this night to speak directly into your soul, not with noise or confusion but with a clear and steady voice that carries both a gentle warning and a sacred blessing, and if you open your heart fully to receive it, the hand of God will begin to turn your path toward peace, healing, and joy that endures beyond every storm." As these words flow into your spirit, imagine the silence of night being filled with a soft glow, a radiance that begins as a whisper of light but grows until it surrounds you completely, touching every hidden ache, quieting every restless thought, and leaving you with the calm assurance that you are wrapped in a love so deep that it cannot fail, cannot abandon, and cannot be taken away. This message is not one to overlook, for heaven does not send its messenger without purpose, and tonight the purpose is to lift you from heaviness into hope, to remind you that God's timing is perfect, and to awaken your spirit to the truth that what He has prepared for you is ready to enter your life, if only you will allow yourself to listen, to trust, and to receive without hesitation. The warning within these words is spoken with love, urging you not to close your heart, not to dismiss the gentle nudge being offered, because if you ignore it you may miss the very blessing that was meant to change your destiny, but if you welcome it, even for a few moments, what God has prepared will settle upon your life with power, permanence, and peace that grows deeper with each passing day. Picture the presence of angels standing near, their watchful care filling your home with a quiet strength, their light moving softly through the air, carrying away every shadow of fear, every whisper of doubt, and every chain of sorrow that once tried to hold you captive, until all that remains is the peace of Christ filling you like a steady flame that cannot be extinguished. What if prosperity was less about chance and more about tuning your thoughts? This unique sound wave is designed to help shift your mind into a state of calm and receptivity. Many listeners say it feels like stress fading and possibility appearing. Imagine doors opening where there once were walls. Click the link in the description and comments below to hear it for yourself and embrace a path filled with new opportunities. The blessing coming into your life tonight is not small, for when God pours His love into a heart, it overflows, reaching into your family, your relationships, your household, and even into the lives of those who cross your path, and through this overflow others will taste the comfort you have received, others will see the light you now carry, and others will be touched by the same grace that is holding you now. Type 1515 to receive peace in your soul today. The angels plead with such urgency because this is a holy moment marked in heaven's time, and the gift being offered is too precious to overlook, for once you receive it, the very story of your life begins to shift, your nights begin to fill with rest, your days begin to grow with hope, and your heart begins to walk in step with the gentle rhythm of God's unchanging love. Let these words become like a soft river running through you, carrying away the burdens you no longer need to hold, leaving in their place a sense of renewal, a deep calm that settles into your soul, and a new strength that rises each time you breathe, reminding you that you are chosen, you are loved, and you are being guided by hands that will never let you go. Carry this assurance as you step into tomorrow, knowing that heaven has spoken directly to you, that Christ Himself surrounds you, and that the blessing arriving now will not fade with the night but will remain, shaping your future with peace, filling your spirit with joy, and anchoring your destiny in the eternal, unshakable love of God. Archangel Michael says, "The message of heaven is being poured into your life with deep care tonight, because God has chosen this moment to remind you that you are not forgotten, you are not lost, and you are not abandoned, for His love has always been near, and now His blessing is stepping directly into your path to guide you into a season of peace and renewal." As these words rest upon your spirit, imagine the quiet of the night carrying a holy weight, as though the air itself has slowed to make room for the presence of God, and in that stillness a light begins to unfold, glowing brighter with every breath, wrapping itself around you until every wound begins to soften, every fear begins to release, and every part of you feels safe in the arms of divine love. This message is not sent lightly, for heaven speaks with purpose, and tonight the purpose is to prepare you for a change that will carry your life into new hope, reminding you that your struggles do not define you, your pain does not have the final word, and your story is being rewritten even now by the hand of a God who delights in healing, in restoring, and in making broken things whole again.